Welcome back to my channel. The old sedan rattled as it rolled into the parking lot of the Monarch Motors Classic Car Expo. Its faded paint was peeling, one headlight was cloudy, and rust covered the edges of the doors. It looked like a car that belonged in a scrapyard, not at one of the most prestigious automotive events in the country. People immediately began staring. Some laughed. Others pulled out their phones to record. Behind the wheel was Jake Morgan, a hard-working single father who spent his days repairing farm equipment and restoring old engines at a tiny garage outside town. Sitting beside him was his 11-year-old daughter, Lily. "Dad," Lily whispered nervously, "maybe we shouldn't have come." Jake smiled. "We're not here to impress people. We're here to prove something." As they parked, a sleek black limousine stopped nearby. Cameras flashed as billionaire businesswoman Victoria Sterling, owner of Sterling Automotive Group, stepped out with her executives. She noticed Jake's rusty sedan and smirked. "Who allowed that junk car into my event?" One executive laughed. "It probably broke down on the way in." The nearby crowd chuckled. Jake ignored them and calmly opened the hood. Victoria walked closer, shaking her head. "I'll give you $300 for it." Jake smiled politely. "That's exactly what I paid." The crowd laughed even harder. Victoria folded her arms. "So you're actually proud of buying scrap?" Jake looked at her calmly. "I'm proud of what people can't see." She frowned. "And what's that supposed to mean?" Jake simply replied. "The engine." Curious, Victoria stepped closer. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary engine bay. Then she noticed something unusual. The welds were flawless. Every hose was perfectly routed. The machining was unbelievably precise. Even the custom intake manifold looked like a piece of art. She turned to her chief engineer. "Take a closer look." The engineer leaned over the engine for several moments. His confident expression slowly disappeared. This isn't factory built." Victoria frowned. "Then what is it?" The engineer looked directly at Jake. "Did you build this yourself?" Jake nodded. "Over 4 years. Every night after work." The crowd suddenly became quiet. The engineer picked up a flashlight and inspected the cylinder head. His eyes widened. This combustion chamber design.
Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Enjoy the video.
"I've never seen anything like it." Another engineer joined him. Within minutes, 5 automotive experts surrounded the old sedan. They weren't looking at the rusty body anymore. They were studying the engine with complete fascination. One whispered, "This could completely change high-performance efficiency." Victoria's confidence began fading. She asked, "Can it actually run?" Jake smiled. "There's only one way to find out." He climbed into the driver's seat. Lily fastened her seatbelt with an excited grin. Jake turned the key. For a brief second. Silence. Then. The engine roared to life with a deep, smooth sound unlike anything anyone had ever heard. The crowd froze. Instead of the rough idle expected from an old junk car, the engine purred with incredible precision. The entire parking lot fell silent. Jake gently pressed the accelerator. The engine responded instantly, revving cleanly and effortlessly. One engineer stared at the live diagnostic screen connected to the engine. "No way. The efficiency numbers are incredible." Another added, "It produces supercar-level performance while using far less fuel." Victoria looked stunned. "This can't be real." Jake shut the engine off and stepped out. "I told you. The outside doesn't matter. What matters is what's inside." Just then, the event organizers announced an open demonstration on the private test track. Any vehicle could participate. Victoria smiled confidently. Fine. If your engine is really that special, prove it. Jake accepted. Minutes later, luxury sports cars lined up beside his rusty sedan. Ferraris. Lamborghinis. McLarens. Spectators laughed as Jake rolled into position. This is going to be embarrassing. The starting lights counted down. 3, 2, 1. Green. The supercars launched forward. For the first second, Jake stayed behind. Then his custom-built engine unleashed its power. The rusty sedan surged ahead with unbelievable acceleration. One by one, it overtook the exotic cars. Gasps echoed through the grandstands. Commentators shouted in disbelief. The junk car is leading. It just passed another supercar. It can't be happening. Seconds later, Jake crossed the finish line first. The crowd erupted into thunderous applause. Victoria stood speechless. She slowly walked toward Jake. I owe you an apology. I judged your car by its appearance. Jake smiled. A lot of people do. She looked at the engine one last time. Name your price. I want to buy your design. Jake looked at Lily before answering. I didn't build it to become rich. I built it to prove that talent doesn't always come from billion-dollar companies. Victoria nodded respectfully. Then let me invest in you instead. We'll build it together. Jake smiled. As partners. She shook his hand. The crowd applauded even louder. The man they had mocked just hours earlier had earned the respect of one of the most powerful automotive CEOs in the country. As father and daughter drove home in the same rusty $300 sedan, Lily looked at her father and smiled. You were right. It really wasn't about the outside. Jake laughed. No, sweetheart. The greatest value is often hidden where nobody thinks to look. And from that day forward, the old junk car was never remembered for its rust. It was remembered for the engine that changed everything. Like and subscribe.